Well, hey folks, just sitting here in the screen porch. I don't have any screens, but it's still a nice, pleasant place to sit. Well, today was a do-nothing day. Not by choice, however. Yesterday, got a lot done. Went over to my friend's place, helped him on his barn roof. We worked all morning. And then he came here and helped me put the pine boards up over the log ceiling joist here. Got that done. And then today I woke up with, I don't know what I woke up with. I wasn't feeling well. Felt like garbage all day long. So I've gotten absolutely nothing accomplished, which I hate. I hate days like today. So I figured, since I'm doing nothing, what I can accomplish is I'll grab my journal and I can read another journal entry to y'all. And what I'm going to do is pick up right where I left off last time. And this is once again in deer hunting in November 1983. I teamed up with Roger. We went to the cabin and then we came here, and I'll tell you how the story unfolds. This is November 1983. Roger and I came up this morning. We arrived around 11 and found the cabin just as I left it. This is the other cabin. There was very little evidence of mice this time, and only one mouse in the traps, and one trap set off. I think I must be putting a dent in the population. I sure hope so anyway. That was nothing more than wishful thinking, my friends. The only way to put a dent in the population is to keep at 'em with a bucket trap. We got a fire going, got the gear unpacked, and went out hunting. Roger took my trail, and I told him to follow that up to where the ledges start. The terrain shelves off there, and I always see deer tracks in that area. The plan was for me to head up the road and then circle back towards him, and we'd meet up where I dug out that spring. If I kicked one out of the high country, there's a good chance it would exit down through that shelf. The lay of the land funnels everything down through that spot, and that's how I found the spring in the first place. I think it's a great spot to set up an ambush. And that was a great spot. It's just the way the lay of the land worked. If I was out kicking around those woods and not really paying a lot of attention to where I was going, and then I just decided to head in the general direction of the road, the way the lay of the land, I would come out in that swath. The terrain would come down and it would just shelf off, and everything just went down through there. It was a great spot. All right. I went up to where the old shack is and then cut in, heading northwest for a ways. The forest floor was dry and crunchy, which made very noisy walking, so I took a stand where the stone walls came to a corner and the beech trees are. I was sitting on a mossy stone at the base of the wall and heard something coming up behind me. It was too noisy to be a squirrel, and it sounded like it was heading right at me. It came up close behind me and then stopped. It froze, so I froze, and nothing happened for what felt like an hour. I sat there as still as a statue with my heart pounding until I couldn't take it anymore. I tried to spin my body around as slow and quietly as possible, and when I did, I found the culprit was only a porcupine. He too spun himself around and hurried off in the direction he came from. I wonder if he comes here to feed on beech nuts. I sat there for another half hour and then started heading towards Roger. I was only on the move about 10 minutes when I heard a shot. I knew it was Roger, and I wondered if I kicked a deer down to him, I was anxious to find out and a wee bit jealous at that point, because I really thought I kicked the deer out, it went down there and Roger hammered it. I was hoping it did, but you know how it goes, especially at that age. I worked my way down the ridge, and when I got to the shelf, Roger wasn't there. I wondered if he hit one and was off trailing it, but couldn't find any evidence of that. I wish we had walkie-talkies. I hung out for a while and started heading back to the cabin at dusk. When I got out to the road, I saw Roger coming down the hill carrying a dead rabbit. He said he shot it up by the spring and decided to leave the stand after making all that commotion. We quartered up the bunny, and the meat is soaking in a bowl of salt water. We'll have it for supper tomorrow. Tonight, we fried up the T-bones we bought on the way up here and enjoyed them with mushrooms and onions. Another wonderful deer camp meal right there. It's been an enjoyable day, and it was nice to have my own cabin to come back to after an evening hunt. I guess I'll close this book for now, stoke the stove, and call it a night. We plan to head to the camp after a short hunt in the morning. Then I didn't write again until Saturday night. I hunted the shelf in the morning, and Roger went up the hill, but neither of us saw anything. We went to the camp with the intention of spending the night, but changed our minds. Now that's this camp again. It was a full house up there with Mom and Dad, John and his 2 kids, Ray and Brian, and they brought Dick Duhamel with them. We visited with them for a few hours and returned to the cabin around 2:30. Just as we were turning into the driveway, I saw a partridge run across the road about 50 yards further up. I parked the truck and walked up the hill with the 12 gauge. I really didn't expect to see it again, but when I got to where I last saw it, it flushed and I blasted it. Now we'll have partridge to go with our bunny tonight. Roger's gone off hunting now, but I decided to stay here, cook up the game, and enjoy some quiet time. If this is how my future life is going to be, then I think I'm really going to enjoy living here. Oh, I tell you folks, when I would come out of the woods, and the novelty never really wore off of this. I'd come out of the woods, be approaching my cabin, there it sat on the little knoll, smoke coming out of the chimney, made me so proud. It was just so nice to have my own space to do whatever I wanted. 'Cause this camp was my dad's camp, you know, and I couldn't just make changes and do whatever I wanted back then. And we were planning on coming here and hooping it up with everybody, but when we got here, it was all the people here. All the good bunks were taken. My brother's here with his 2 young kids, and that guy, Dick Duhamel, well, I didn't really care too much for him. He was all right, but I don't know. You know, not everybody meshes well. So we decided to just go back to the cabin, and I'm glad we did. We didn't get a deer. Nobody got a deer, but Roger and I would always get some small game. And back in the day, we ate a lot of ducks and squirrels, and some bunnies, but a lot of freaking squirrels. Yep. So that's just another episode of my life of chasing dreams, and I will pick up again, hopefully very soon. I've been very, very busy, stretched a little bit too thin, and that's probably why I felt like garbage today. So I'm just going to take the rest of the day, rest up, hopefully get these rafters up, get the plywood on the roof, get this little addition watertight. So that's it for now. All the best to you folks, and God bless.